Hello everyone and welcome to the 2021 San Angelo Rodeo Special. You're about to see some of the things that usually go unseen. You'll also hear from folks who have been directly impacted by our rodeo. First, we'll start by showing you just how much the sport gives back to our community. Tough Enough to Wear Pink Night began in 2004 at the National Finals Rodeo. The organizers wanted to designate one evening during the NFR to bring awareness to breast cancer and raise money for research. Contestants were encouraged to wear pink and help share information about the cause. Since then, the initiative spread across the nation and is now part of many rodeos, including the San Angelo Rodeo. Each year, thousands of dollars are raised, and those funds help many West Texas families. Another special evening is Military Appreciation Night.
All enemies, foreign and domestic.
Linda Sargent Martin was in attendance on this night along with dozens of other Vietnam veterans. Her story is one of loss and one of resilience. On April 21st, 50 years ago, her husband, Stan Sargent, was killed in action.
He was able to save the lives of 8 of his men.
That date, April 21st, just happened to be the exact night designated as Military Appreciation Day at our rodeo this year. Linda says there was no better way to honor Stan than by remembering him on such a special day.
He was a hero. He was one of those that you go, he was definitely a hero.
Linda wasn't in the stands alone, though. Her current husband, also a veteran, was with her.
Stan's brother introduced me to a gentleman that he was in the service with while he was in Korea, and his name is Bill Martin. And next year we will celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary. Bill has been a lifesaver, and not a whole lot of people know this, and I didn't know it for many, many years. The day we got married, he was 20 minutes late for our wedding, and I didn't know why. And I'm going, okay, maybe he's sticking it out, who knows? But turns out, I found out about 2 years later that the reason he was late is he had gone by Stan's gravesite to tell him not to worry about me. He was going to take good care of me. And I truly believe that God and Stan were looking down and saying, he's the guy. He's the one that will take care of her and love her. And he has all these years.
Linda and Bill continue to fight for and honor veterans of all wars and their families, saying that when one serves, the whole family serves. Family is another important aspect of rodeo. Each year, the San Angelo Rodeo designates one Sunday as Children's Miracle Network Day. Donations are gathered and Miracle Kids are featured during the performance, getting to take a ride around the arena in a shiny Dodge pickup. Jean and Hartley Hernandez, a mother-daughter duo, were in that truck bed. Here's their story.
A couple of years ago in April, we were at the soccer fields for her older sister's practice. She went out to play with her other sister, and they were playing and kicking the soccer ball. The soccer ball got kicked pretty hard, and so she ran chasing it, and they were laughing with each other as they were chasing to try to catch up to it. The soccer ball landed on a coiled rattlesnake, and when she went to grab it with her foot and pull back, the rattlesnake struck and bit her left foot. We rushed to the emergency room, and we were taken care of by Shannon. They went ahead and admitted her a couple hours later because they were hoping it was a dry bite, but it wasn't, and so it kept going up her leg. And we were administered 5 vials of anti-venom, and we had to stay in the hospital about a week. And then a couple of weeks we were in for therapy for her to get her confidence back in walking. The pain was what was just hard for her at that time. But she was brave and strong, and a lot stronger than her mama. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Feel good. Say, what are you doing now? What do you do still?
I play soccer and basketball.
I think she was worried that she wouldn't be able to play those things because it hit her foot. It struck her left foot, and so, of course, that's what we were worried about, playing and jumping and stuff. But she's still able to do all those things, and you would never know that she was bit by a rattlesnake.
Now for a look at a new group that was brought in this year. This is the first time the Shadow Warriors Project team had been to San Angelo, but it's safe to say their presentation left quite an impact on the audience.
This man standing before you is one of the 4 survivors that wouldn't stand down. He saved 31 American lives because he wouldn't stand down. How about a big warm welcome to Mark Dice.
My name is Mark Geist. I was one of the 6 team members that fought in the Battle of Benghazi on September 11, 2012. I was injured on the rooftop, and 2 of my friends, Ty and Glenn, were killed right next to me. And I was injured pretty bad. And when I got home, even when I was in the hospital, it was one of those things. My idea of continuing to serve was to start a nonprofit to help private security contractors and their families. Unfortunately, our private security contractors and our families, they don't get the support necessarily that our government and our military have. So they work on a workman's comp policy. Their medical is handled that way. So and there's really nothing for the families. So we decided we wanted to start something that was going to kind of help them out, so they didn't have to go through kind of what me and my wife and my family had to go through. It's really grown a lot in the last couple years, and probably the last 3 years is when it's grown the most. You know, and the number that we've helped, it's not as much the number that we've helped, it's the broad base of people that we've helped. It's, you know, families, because unfortunately a lot of us, I mean, we don't always make the best relationship decisions, and because of the life that we lead, we have had multiple marriages, children, and so when a spouse gets killed overseas, you know, you're dealing with an ex-wife and a new wife and the kids, and you know, there's no one there for them. So we've had a family like that, a husband who had worked in the Army for several years, retired out, and then got injured or got killed overseas, and the primary care provider, who was his new wife, didn't stick around to take care of the kids. The ex-wife was not involved in the kid's life anymore, so there was nobody there except for the oldest son was 18, 19 years old, and so now he's the one that's having to take care of things and didn't have the support for that. So we wanted to help out there, and so it's a diverse group that we help, and diverse issues. But then I've got Roan here, she's my service dog, and Josh Perry and his family that run Baton K9 up in Ontario, Canada, donated her through a nonprofit called Special Operations Wounded Warriors, and it just kind of drew me, and our friendship and relationship grew and just made me want to do the same. And I saw how she helped me, so I wanted to pass that on to others, and so we expanded our nonprofit to help private security contractors get service dogs, and then we saw the need for just our regular veterans that need it as well, and so we started doing that, and that's kind of what's led us to where we're at now, where we give away about 10-15 dogs a year is what our goal is. But we also have another program where we do a canine therapy program up in Lubbock, Texas, with a wonderful family who's built a facility that we use up there, and we bring in 10 combat vets, pair them with a dog for a week, put them through a course that we've devised where we do 3 things there. We introduce them to the Lord, we introduce them to the dogs, let them and the dogs work through stress and help each other manage stress, and then one of the big things that's helped me is tell my story. So really the big thing, you know, telling your story is something that, and not just your combat story, it's your life story, because there's so many of us that we come into the military because we're either running from something or to something, and as I kind of term it is, our bucket's half full by the time we get to the military, and once it's full, if you don't unload it sometimes, it overtakes you, and you know, that stress and how we deal with that sometimes then comes out with our family, our kids, or society, you know, those that we work with, and unfortunately, you know, but through the dogs, telling your story and the Lord, we can really help people manage that.
My name is Joshua Perry. I'm from Canada. We have a company, Baton K9 Incorporated. Our family business is about 50 years old. It was founded by my father. My father's a veteran, so it's veteran-owned and operated. And my mother and him started it back in the early 70s. And I'm the second generation, and my son Jacob is the third generation, which involves not just limited to us, but it involves the whole family, my mother, my wife, and I have also 2 daughters. So the company was founded on the Family Home Protection Program, which provided services and dogs to secure families, and also law enforcement and military dogs. And then 9/11 hit, and the company shifted a little bit and went into operations to support the 5 international countries that served on the war against terrorism. So our company did a small part in that in Afghanistan and Iraq, and we held on to that probably till about 2007. And after that, we kind of refocused our direction back on the foundation of our company, the Family Home Protection Program, but noticing the great need for veterans and dogs. And we normally would just give a dog away. Veterans were surrounded on the facility with Vietnam vets, World War II vets growing up, and then Iraq vets and Afghanistan veterans started trickling in at a great number, unfortunately, for the need and the help. So we just ran into Mark Geis and Shadow Warriors Project, and they not only fellowship with us, but kind of assisted with a little direction in the veterans and the service dogs in the program. So together we have humbly but very effectively helped a lot of people, which is not only, it's not the cornerstone of our company, but it is the most honorable and the most focused. I'm a military contractor. I've served in numerous theaters across the world with and beside soldiers, so I technically didn't have to serve because of the 9/11 event. And we were operating with security forces prior to 9/11 with the explosive detection and the integration of dogs into military units, special operations units. And then after 9/11, I went into Afghanistan, in early Afghanistan, and operated with our company, Baton K9, in and beside other companies and units. You know, it was interesting because I'm 43. At 30, I've known Jesus my whole life. My family is founded on Christianity and the truth with the gospel. But there was a moment where myself and our company weren't I guess following, or more importantly, glorifying the Lord. So I had a moment at 30 years old in my driveway that where the Lord came back in and kind of gave me a correction, just like the dog. And so we had a long talk, and then we redirected. There was a moment where I didn't think that I was going to be able to do and continue to do what I was groomed to do, because I thought, well, somebody like me now with Jesus in my life, how can I go back into this community with people like me in the warrior culture? And I found out very quickly, one, the Lord was going to send me in deeper, and then I found out even today, you know, the prayers and the men and the cowboys are like us, they're warriors. And you look at the similarities between the cowboys and the cowgirls with the warrior culture, and we're very, very similar, you know. So it's just an honor to be here, honor to see Jesus in and around this, and humbling. I think that the lesson for me at the rodeos, I'm always looking for a reason. I'm like, Lord, why am I here? Because we run around in the bite suits and everybody cheers and everybody claps. And you know, I think whether this goes on camera or not, I think for me it's, I watched a lot of men and women bow their heads and glorify the Lord through all this. So it's through the times that we live in, and the stresses and the anxieties of the uncertainties, just being here for a moment, coming from Canada in a country that's locked down with a lot of anxiety and a lot of people, it's just a reminder for me how to gather the strength and bring it back to my country and let them know that it's okay. You know, Texas has got a lot going on, you know.
Each one of the team members also told me how much they love this community and can't wait to come back. As promised, you're about to see some of the work that goes on behind the scenes, or shoots in this case.
I'm Casey Bays. I'm one of the shoot bosses here at the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo. Basically, a shoot boss is their job is to keep the rodeo going. If there's I'm down here with Rory Limmel on the rough stock end and the bucking shoots. So if we have a horse or a bull that's not cooperating or a guy that's having trouble getting out or whatever, we'll try to help them the best we can, or we may roll to the next guy. When we do that, we have to let Lisa Bailey, the upstairs, know, let Boyd Paulhemus, the announcer, know, the judges know, and we have to do it right then. We don't have time to think about it. Andy Hilton is a shoot boss on the timed event end. You have Roy Limmel, who is on both ends. He's basically your arena director, and I've learned a lot from him, still learning. It's just a lot of moving parts, all moving at the same time, and everybody has to be quick on their feet. There are people everywhere. A lot of them, I don't even know their names, but I know them, just say hi to them when I see them. But I mean, you have the top PRCA stock contractor. You got the best announcer, Josh Hilton, who is the top sound guy in the PRCA. San Angelo's really fortunate to have an event like this, because not all rodeos are like this, and there's a lot of time and effort, production meetings, and a lot of intense moments during the rodeo that the fans don't really realize what's going on, and hopefully our job is to keep it going where nobody notices a pause or a mess up. But basically, we have a production meeting about 2 hours before each performance. We have a flow sheet, so every single thing during this performance, from the opening to the closing, is all planned out. It doesn't always go how we want it to go. You're dealing with animals, you're dealing with stuff out of your control, but everything is planned. I mean, from the lasers, the pyro, what Boyd's going to say at this time, and everybody here does their job so great that it makes this rodeo what it is. I mean, a lot of people, I think, just think that you just have a rodeo and put it on. It's not like that. Not a production like this. This is better than San Antonio. This is like Houston. This is like the NFR, and a lot of the same crew is here. And I think the board of directors, the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo Committee, they work 365 days a year. They're already working for next year's rodeo, and when you have guys working and women working that hard, you put on a show like this.
If you follow the San Angelo Stock Show and Rodeo on social media, you might not think about who is posting the content, you just give it a like. And when you're watching the actual rodeo performance, you may not realize what it takes to get the athletes and guests to and from their certain spots for appearances and, yes, interviews. Well, you're about to meet two women who are in charge of those very things.
I'm Brooklyn Dindle, and I'm the social media specialist.
And I'm Taylor Lockup. I'm the rodeo assistant. So for me, I get here and I start making all of our day sheets, making sure all of our logos are on there. If I have to change font size, I have to make sure all the formatting stays the same, the animals are in the right places. We have mutton busting or HEB calf scramble, those are on there. Just making sure all of our important things are on each day sheet.
My day-to-day looks very different depending on weekend or weekday. So during the week, if we don't have rodeo, we have carnival. So I'm pushing that on social media. And if not, it's weekend, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, pushing rodeo. That's multiple posts a day, preparing like week or so out with content ready to go out to keep the public informed. Being one of the biggest rodeos in the world now, I feel a lot of pressure to put out good content that is accurate, and content that informs the public. So whether that content is engaging, videos, pictures, things that people like to see, or daily schedules, keeping everyone informed of what time things open. It's very important to me to make sure everything's spelled right, make sure everything's formatted right. I run things by Taylor all the time. I'm like, do you think this looks okay? Just to have another set of eyes, because we want to have the best content we can, so everyone else sees that we are holding ourselves to a standard that keeps us the best in the world.
I think what's cool about San Angelo is even though as big as we're getting, it's still hometown. It doesn't matter how big we get, you still have the people that have had tickets for generations, and they still come to every single performance. I mean, you have the 80-year-old grandparents coming with their grandkids, and they're here every single night. And I mean, it's cool, it's generational, and it means a lot to this community.
Yeah, this is my hometown, so being able to promote an event that is so big and vital to the community is like very personal to me, and it's so good.
We hope you enjoyed our first San Angelo Rodeo special. We're already looking forward to next year. A huge thanks to everyone who made this special possible, and thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Sonora Scott.